Well, it can't be forced. But I think if you hire, again, if you're hiring for fit, right? If you're hiring for attitude and you're hiring for culture fit, then I think it just happens naturally. I think people want to work together. And when you're in a culture like that and you're in an environment like that, people want to work together for the success of the brand, for the success of the business. And that's the cool part of that is when you have a great experience, when you have a great culture, that's what they do. They band together to make sure that customers have a great experience and that the business succeeds.
Hello everybody, Chef Marcus Guiliano here. Welcome. I'm super excited today. I have a great guest with me, Annette Franz, and this is going to be a really enlightening topic, especially for us restaurateurs, especially for us chefs. And really this is great for every industry out there, so don't think you have to be in the restaurant industry to benefit from this. You don't at all. Hello, Annette.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.
Absolutely. This is a great topic, and we haven't told them what the topic is yet, but it is going to be a great topic. It's one of my favorites, so thank you for having me.
Great. And this is how I found you, through through our Forbes councils. You and I are both a member of Forbes councils. You're on their coaching council, correct?
Coaches, that's right.
Yes, and I'm on their business council. And there's a lot of highly talented people on our councils, and I love to reach out in that network and get some expert interviews and advice from this council, so it's wonderful. Yeah. And you can find our articles online. I have a couple articles down with them now, but you're on B2B as well, right? B2B community?
Yes, B2B community. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Business to community. So, but yeah, I typically write for my site, and then a lot of times it gets syndicated to other sites, and then I might write specifically for other clients who have me writing specific topics for their sites.
Excellent. So let's jump into the topic. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
And about this groundbreaking topic for me, being in the restaurant industry.
So, I have my own consulting firm, CX Journey Inc. I started it about a year and a half ago. I've been in this customer experience space for about 25 years. Started at J.D. Power & Associates in the early 90s and really took what I learned over the last 25 plus years working with a variety of different industries, variety of different issues for different clients in those different industries to start my own consulting firm and to work on the kinds of projects that I love to work on.
Excellent. So now you're coaching. You can explain a lot of what you're doing, and I find it fascinating because I'm in the restaurant industry, and for us, it's always about service, service, service.
Treating your employees better than your guests, treating them at least as well, but better than your guests. And the reason that I have said that over the years and wrote about it, and the reason that you found me, as a result of finding that article, is because really, quite honestly, without your employees, you have no customer experience. So employees are the most important. There's definitely some folks who will contradict me on that, or who may not agree with me on that. But you know what? Ultimately, there's a quote from Hal Rosenbluth where he basically said, you need to put your employees more first. If you put your customers first, you just need to put your employees more first. So, and I wholeheartedly believe that.
Absolutely. Now, in the restaurant industry, I'm assuming a lot of restaurateurs can argue with that because we're in the hospitality business. We're here to provide 5-star service. We're here to, get that Yelp 5-star review, that mobile 5-star review with the Zagat rating, and that's what we're taught. So for us restaurateurs, that's something a little hard to swallow in the beginning. Like, what do you mean I have to treat my guests, my staff, my team members?
So really the way that I look at it is that your employees are the ones who deliver that experience for your guests, right? So how would you expect your guests to have a great experience if your employees are not treated well? How would you expect if they were having a frustrating day, if they were having a bad day because they didn't have the tools or the resources, or you yelled at them, or they didn't have what they needed to do their jobs well, they can't deliver a great experience for the customers. There's just no way that that's going to happen. So I think that really focusing on making sure that they've got the tools, the resources, the feedback, the coaching, the growth opportunities, the communication, that camaraderie with their coworkers, feeling like they're, that you care about them and that you trust them to do the job that they need to do. All of those kinds of things are part of the employee experience and add to them feeling like they're a part of the business, like they're being valued, and makes them happy at the end of the day. And so if you leave your job at the end of the day feeling like your employer cares about you, then you're going to come back the next day and you're going to do great things. So
I would totally agree with that. Now, some of us may argue, well, some employees don't deserve to be treated good. Some employees don't deserve that because they mess up all the time. They make mistakes. They're late. They do this. They don't respect me. How do we handle those situations?
So I'm gonna talk about two things here. The first part is hiring. So you've got to hire the right people first, right? I mean, that is such a crucial part, and that goes to culture and culture fit. And maybe we can talk a little bit more about that because that's a bigger topic. But when you hire people, you need to hire for attitude and then train them for the skills, right? If you're in a service industry, you can't hire grumpy people. You can't hire lazy people. You can't hire people who don't care about how they look and all of that, right? You need to hire for attitude, and you need to hire for a fit within your culture and the kinds of behaviors that you expect from your employees. So go back to the question because I know I had another thought on that, but that was really a
sure. So how do we deal with an employee that just isn't that because a lot of bosses are going to say, well, this person's just not smart, or they can't handle it, they're never going to get it, I've taught them this, they're just not doing it. How do we handle an employee like that?
So there's two things that you can do there. First of all is take some time to coach them, right? Take the time. I think before you let somebody go, you absolutely have to take the time to coach them and give them the opportunity to show that they can do the job. And then ultimately, you know what? Again, going back to culture, if it's not a fit, if they're not the right person for this job, then you have to fire them. And that's the thing about culture is when you define your core values. So culture is all about core values plus behavior, right? So when you define your core values for your business, and I don't know if you have them for your restaurant or not, but if you do, then you know that once you define them, you have to be ready to hire, fire, and promote against those core values, right? That's how important those are to your culture and to the business and to having the right people on your staff to begin with.
Absolutely. So my next Forbes article is about taking 100% responsibility for your business.
Yep.
And I've lived by that. Somebody taught me that recently. I take 100% responsibility. And if there's a problem with an employee, I say, you know what? I'll take 100% responsibility up to this point where you don't know, where there's miscommunication, this or that. But from here going forward, this is what we expect. This is what I expect. Right. This is what expects for you to do and perform. And ultimately, I have to take 100% responsibility for hiring them.
Right.
So how much is it their fault and how much is it my fault for hiring the wrong person?
That's right.
And it makes a big difference when you look at it that way. And you mentioned coaching staff. I feel like sometimes we're babysitters, the boss, but realistically, we're a team, and every professional team, every Hall of Famer has a coach. Every Hall of Fame basketball player, baseball player, they have a coach. And it's not that they can't hit the ball. The coach shows them how to hit the ball farther.
Right.
So they're already swinging, they're making contact, they're doing a good job, and the coach is there to tweak the small things and hit the ball farther.
That's right.
So I explain it to my staff. We're here to help you hit the ball farther. So I'm going to explain things to you, sometimes on the job, and sometimes in a formal classroom workshop setting, which we have once a week workshop settings with our staff, where it's 100% feedback. You sit down, we throw ideas out, we talk about things, personal goals, all kinds of things. And we start each meeting out with what we're thankful for, something that happened that week specifically, and they have to be specific about it. They can't say, oh, I'm thankful for my family. No, I'm thankful I got to take my mom for lunch on Tuesday for sushi. That's what I'm thankful for. Yeah. And then they have to say what they're thankful for to one other person in the room, one other staff member. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jim, on Thursday night. You and I worked great as a team. I appreciate working with you.
I love that. That's awesome.
And that's what we start every workshop with. So it starts on a high note. I like to use the sandwich effect. You tell them two good things. In the middle, you slip something in
Yeah.
that they need to improve upon.
Well, and we tend to focus on the negative, right? When we think about coaching, we tend to focus on, well, I got to tell them all this bad stuff, and it's got to be criticism, blah, blah. But no, there's a lot of good stuff, and we have to celebrate that. So that's a great idea.
So I'm guilty of finding myself in this downward spiral a lot of times, where I'm all of a sudden focusing on all this negative stuff.
Right.
And that right there, what you focus on is what grows.
That's right.
It's just, and again, if I took 100% responsibility, the person wouldn't be there to begin with, so I have to make a change. One thing that I teach my clients is do a process where they get caught doing something right,
Yep.
and give them some kind of reward, some kind of kudos. We have a Facebook group for that, where we can all thank each other, caught doing right, and that helps a ton of stuff. But still, I'm the boss, and I have to hold the standards up, and that's how I explain to my staff. I have to hold you to high standards. We're charging $18 or $28 or $48 for an entree, and those are the standards, and that's what I expect from